Okay, we're going to do a walk around video on a 2019 Integra Anthem 44F. So we're going to go around the outside, then we're going to go inside, kind of go through on stuff. Your keypad, if you press and hold 1, 2 continuously, it will lock all the doors. And then you punch in your entry code and 1, 2 for the entry door only. Punch in your code and then 3, 4 for all the doors, and punch in your code and the 7, 8 button to unlock compartment doors only. Most of the time you're just going to punch in your code and hit 3, 4, it unlocks the code. See, I have the awnings out, the lights are on. I don't have the over the door awning out. That is controlled on the switch here. And the end. All of your awnings are controlled by the touchpad or the app. The switch for the door awning is in the entranceway, and the extra switch for the main awnings is this remote control. 0, 0 is both awnings. 0, 1 is the front awning. 0, 2 is the rear awning. 0, 0, press in, and it puts both awnings in. This switch is kept up here in this compartment with your outside freezer in this little pocket. Your outside freezer is on a slide tray. There are tabs here and here. Pull the tabs together, pull it out. It is a 200% slide, so it comes out quite a ways. Unlatch it. It's a cooler, it's a freezer, it's whatever you want it to be. You have a fuel fill on both sides. There is only one tank. You can fill it from either side. The slide tray with your awning wand. The awning wand is for your window awning. Back up in there, and that little cubby hole is your matrix. That is what connects all your HDMIs to all your TVs. Outside TV is on a swing out mount, so you can pivot it, put it wherever you want. To close it, you just push it back in, and it's got magnets that hold it in. TV remote is right here. It's spaced down at the moment. And your soundbar remote for the Bose soundbar is right there. This is lockable, and it has a separate key. You have full storage all the way across. The box is spare tiles. Your house batteries are located behind this panel in compartments. Your inverters are up in between the frame rails. Behind that is your Aqua hot. Behind this carpeted panel here on the side is your Gcd module. These are resettables, breakers, and the top row is push-in reset breakers. Your slide controller is up there, and one of your modules. This is just held on with Velcro. I'm going to pause. Just needed 2 hands to put that back together. You have a heat duct in here for your bay heat. You have a 110 plug, and you have your Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner port out here so that you can plug your vacuum hose out here and clean your compartments or your car, whatever you want. These 2 rotary disconnects, one goes to one inverter, one goes to the other. If those are off, the inverters will not work. The circuits that are plugged into the inverters will not work, and it will not charge the battery. So you have to have those on when you're using the coach. This is the back side of your wet bay. There's a little storage area. There's a little pull out. Give you access to get to the plumbing back there if you ever have to. You can physically see your water tank, and you have a gravity fill right there. These little warts that are on the side are for your blind spot monitor system. There's 2 in the back and 1 up on the front on each side. Your DEF tank is right here. It has a remote fill on the other side. Your engine batteries are right here. Down below is a fuse box. You have breakers there that we use as chassis battery disconnects for storage. And you have your air dryer and your fuel filters in there. This switch right here is for your rear engine door. You press it up and hold it to raise the door. It's already up. Gives you access to your engine, your oil fill, antifreeze, power steering, which is AW46 hydraulic oil, engine dipstick, transmission dipstick, backup alarm, the power steering filter. That is a plug for your block heater and an outlet that you can plug it in once the coach is plugged in. Your air filter restriction gauge. Exhaust, 2-inch receiver, 7-way trailer connector. There is a pair of air plugs here. This is the one that comes from the factory. This is one that's been added on for an Air Force One. They both do the same thing. They supply air out to a vehicle that's being towed. You have an air braking system on your vehicle, like an Air Force One system. Side radiator. This is the driver's side DEF fill. You can see the blind spot monitors. Take a pause here a second. All right, now we're up here in our wet bay area. To the rear of the wet bay, this little door here, this is your SaniCon hose. This is your primary sewer hose if you're using the SaniCon and the macerator system. We'll get back to that in a bit. This is your water hose. It is on a hose reel. You must release the hose reel by pressing down on that to be able to pull it out. Push up to retract it. If you're familiar with a boat anchor system, that is the way it works. It's like a Glendinning boat anchor. When you hit down, it unlocks and it allows the anchor to free fall. Okay, in this case, when you hit down, it unlocks and it allows you to pull the hose out. When you hit up, it brings the anchor up, or the hose in this case in, and when you let go of it on the up position, it locks it so that it can't just drop again. Down here, this is an inline filter. You're going to want to replace that. I left that in there so you know the filter number. This blue hose is the bypass for that filter so you can winterize it. The unit is currently winterized. Okay, so when you get it all de-winterized, you're going to remove that blue hose and install a new filter. There is a shutoff valve for it right there. That filter goes to your refrigerator. Your hose reel comes through and up to here. So if your hose reel were to fail, you can unhook it right here and hook up directly here instead. This hose connection here is your black tank flush. When you are camping and you want to fill the fresh water tank and you're hooked up to city water, you rotate this valve and now it fills the fresh water tank. It has to be in the vertical position to use the water. Water pump or city, doesn't matter. The valve has to be vertical to use water. You have a light switch. You have a macerator switch. The macerator switch turns on the macerator, which is part of the SaniCon system. Basically, it's like a garbage disposal sideways and it pumps out. The macerator pumps out through that hose. You do not have to have the macerator on to run gray water through the system. However, you have to have the macerator on when you're doing the black tanks. There is a bypass to the macerator. And back there you see that valve that's up. That is the output from the macerator to the Sanacon hose that's over here. If you want, you could, if you had a problem with the hose, you can shut that valve and it will not go out there and you won't be using the macerator. There's a bypass valve right here. You pull this valve and it dumps out here, straight down, out the bottom of the coat. And there is a bayonet fitting there. There is also a 45-degree elbow that they include. Back there, those are your hot and cold low point drains. Your water pump is up here on the top. And this is your siphon hose for winterizing. To winterize the coach, you put this hose into a jug of antifreeze, turn the valve like it currently is, turn on your water pump, and it will draw antifreeze in through the system and pump it through the whole system. Up here is your monitor. Check your battery voltage, fresh tank, gray tank, black tank, and you can turn your water pump on. This is your whole house water filter. Your hose, sprayer, your filter wrench, and your controls for the hose, hot and cold. Turn these clockwise to lock them. And you got a paper towel holder and a soap dispenser or whatever little pocket there. The exhaust is for your Aqua hot. Next up is our short cord reel. It works exactly the same as the hose. When you retract it, you press up on the switch. To let it out, you have to press down to release it, and then you can pull it out. Back here is your surge guard transfer switch. Yes, it has surge protection. However, it is basically single event, which is to say if you get hit with a surge, it will protect your coach. However, it will blow up to do it. So we do recommend a good quality inline surge protector because it's cheaper to buy a good surge protector once than it is to replace these transfer switches. This back panel here is your Aqua Hot control board. It has a series of lights on it that tell you what's going on with it. The things you need to know about an Aqua Hot, most of it you can get online. Model and serial number are important. It's there. It's also on the tag up there. There's also a tag inside the case. And what lights are on. As the Aqua Hot does various stages, you will get different lights on depending on what it's doing. If you can call me and tell me what model you have and what lights are on, I can tell you exactly what your Aqua Hot is doing. That filter up there is for the Aqua Hot. It's the Aqua Hot fuel filter. And this is the overflow surge tank for the Aqua Hot. We only use Century transfer fluid. It's a boiler antifreeze. Service needs to be performed annually. It's basically just like doing an old fuel oil furnace. You have to change the filter, you change the nozzle, you clean the combustion chamber, adjust the electrodes, and you're done. Next up, in here, we have our Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner. We have the little bag with some extra vacuum cleaner bags in it. And that cap right there pulls off to change the bag. We have our starter kit here. Starter kit's got a standard 10-foot sewer hose, a 30 to 15 power adapter, toilet chemical, toilet paper, a drinking water hose, and a water pressure regulator. If you're not sure about what kind of water pressure your campground has, use the regulator. You can always take it off if the pressure is too low. Again, the tray on this side I don't know if I showed you this on the other side, but this little blue handle, you lift up on that to open the tray. We have another storage compartment up here. This panel right here is on Velcro, and behind it are your awning controllers for the big awnings. That panel is removable. This panel here is removable. They both give you access to the same thing, and that is your hydraulic jacks pump. All right. G68 Control Panel. All of those little white buttons are pop-out breakers. If they pop out, you push them back in to reset them. Everything is labeled. Behind this cover is your Spartan chassis control board. It has fuses on it. Honestly, I've hardly ever had to touch one, and I've been doing these for 7 years. Those white boxes right there are what we call the dry contacts. And what they do is they connect to this G6 panel, and then they send a radio frequency back to the awning controllers. This is how the Firefly system, the Vega Touch system, talks with your awnings. You have 12-volt power ports there, and the button in and out for your generator slide. The generator slide has to have air pressure and the ignition on in order to work. So we usually suggest that you have the coach running to put the generator in or out. I don't have the ignition on right now, but I do already have the generator out. All right, 12,500 watt Onan diesel generator. There's a little push there to release that. Pull the front out slightly and then pull it forward to remove it. You have your windshield washer solvent there. Inside here, we have our oil fill, our dipstick, kind of hard to see in this light, our engine oil filter. Our oil drain is on the bottom. There's our antifreeze tank. You can see it's about half full, which is between the lines here. That's all that's required. You have a on-off breaker. If that breaker is off, you will not get electricity. The generator will still run, but it will not produce any output power. So if the generator runs and you don't get any electricity, that switch is the first thing to check. Second thing, stop. If you hold it for 20 seconds, you'll hear the fuel pump kick on, the light will turn on. That is prime. So if you need to prime the generator, you simply hold the stop switch continuously, and that primes it. Start is also preheat. So when I press the start button, it goes to preheat first. It will not crank until it's up to temp. So the colder it is, the longer you hold the button before it'll start. Okay, now we're going to go into the entrance area. We have a little pull-out drawer here in the bottom of the step well. We have our step cover. Step cover is controlled by a switch here in the passenger area. That large rocker switch right there. Press forward on it, brings it out. Press back, brings it back in. Next to that, there are 3 smaller rocker switches for the day shades in the area. One controls the passenger side front, and then the entrance door, and then the passenger side window. The driver has 5 of those switches because he can control all 5 front shades. Down here, we have our main house battery disconnect right there. On-off switch and an LED light to tell you it's on. Then we have our step light, which lights up the step well area. and step power, which determines whether the step goes in or out or stays out. Can't really see well in here because it's lit up. We have our light master off, on right here. One thing about it is if you press off and then you press on, it turns the lights back on exactly the way they were when you pressed off. However, you press off and press off again, it doesn't turn anything back on because it was off when you hit the off button. So you hold the on switch and it overrides it. Cargo locks, lock and unlock. Day master or night master, these are shades. Day shades, night shades, down or up. There's a button above and below. Security lights, driver's side, passenger side. Those are the big lights up there on the sides of the coach. Awning lights, driver's side, passenger side. This is your entry awning, in and out. Entry ceiling lights. And the entry ceiling lights have an up-down arrow, which means that if you hold the button, they're dimmable. Porch lights and cargo lights. Cargo and slide out. The cargo and slide out lights, what they do is your cargo lights, and under the slide outs on the passenger side are some LED strips that light up so you can see under the slide outs better. Passenger seat rotates. You pull on this and you can rotate the seat. There is a switch down here that puts out the footrest. You have adjustable armrests on both sides. Above the entrance door, we have a generator start and stop. We have our antenna power. If you press the power button, now the TVs are all on cable hookup. The cable hookup is in the power cord rail area above the power cord. And when the green LED there is on, it is on antenna. It is a search button up here, and it has manual movement. It will auto search and try to find the best cable signal it can. You have your slide out switches, kitchen slide, super slide, vanity, and bed. You have 4 extend switches and 4 retract switches. When we do setup at a campground, what we're going to do, what I tell everybody to do, when you pull into the campground, we're going to leave the engine running, we're going to walk around the coach, and we're going to make sure everything is fine, and we're going to hook up our water, sewer, and electric with the coach running. That way, hey, if you need to move a couple feet to make the hose reach, you can do that. Once you've done that, you're going to come in the coach, you're going to shut the coach off, and you're going to put all your slide outs out. Put them out. Easiest way to do it is right here, and you can put them out 2 or 3 or even 4 at a time if you use 4 fingers. Now they're different size slides, so the shorter slides out like that one on the driver's side is going to go out faster, or be out faster. They go out at about the same speed, but that one travels a shorter distance, so it'll be all the way out first. So once it's out, you let go of it. And continue putting slides out. Right now I'm putting out the super slide and the vanity slide in the back. And right now we're putting out the bed slide. So this does take a minute or two. All right, once we have all the slides out, we are now ready to level the coach. Okay, to level the coach, we have 2 choices. We have air leveling through our Hadley system, and I'll go over that a little bit more when we get back into the driver's area because the Hadley does several things. And we have our equalizer hydraulic system. With the equalizer, turn the power on. If the only light that's on is the power switch, you can use the auto level. If you press the auto level, it's going to start running the jacks down. When it gets the jacks parts way down, it's going to let the air out of the air suspension and drop the coach. Auto leveling is a great feature. It works really nice. However, Auto's idea of level and your idea of level may not be totally the same. Everyone has a different equilibrium. Everyone has a different center of gravity and different balances. So what's level for me may not be level for you. The things that I consider important to be level, you might not care about. So you can change the leveling points. You can manually override the leveling when it's done. So if you get it leveled and it's all done and you don't like it, you have the ability to use the buttons in that center diamond area to raise or lower the jacks. Now, when it says front, there's an up and down arrow on the front, the right, the left, and the rear. That refers to jack up. So if you press front up, it's going to lower the front because it's going to raise the front jacks. So if you want to raise the front end, you press front down to push the jacks down, which raises the coach. Once we are leveled, we are ready to camp. Let's go back up in here. Those three switches there are AC overrides. If you turn those switches on, the air conditioners will be running in full blast high cold mode with no thermostat whatsoever. This means that if you have all three air conditioners on and you go away and you leave them turned on here, you could come back to a meat locker because these air conditioners will take this coach down to 40 degrees or colder. And there's no thermostat. They will just continue to run and run and run. Okay? It's an emergency override. So try not to use them. This is the remote control panel for your solar panel. It gives you the ability to look at what your solar panels are doing. It's just a display. Up here above the seat, that plug right there is supposed to be plugged into this box. When it's plugged into that box, the TV will not work going down the road, which is why most of my customers unplug it and put it over there. So that's up to you. I'm not going to change it. I didn't touch it. Just showing you what it does. We're going to go down through the passenger side. We have 110 outlet down here. We have light switches with shade controls, porch lights, entry ceiling, day master and night master again, and front master for our front lights. So this front master only turns off the lights in the front of the coach. We have our theater seating. Each one of the theater seats has a control pad there with in and out for the recliners. There's a little console in between them. You have storage above. That black bag has your owner's manuals in it. We have our dinette. Our table. Our table has a two-stage pull-out. On the bottom front, you pull this out, up, and that makes that a little extension. Also, the table itself will pull out. And underneath the table, sorry about it, underneath the table is a little latch that catches the table. So it pulls out. Okay. Storage on each side and underneath in the cabinets. Storage above overhead. Refrigerator is a 110 household refrigerator. So when you're traveling, you either have to have the inverters on or you have to have the generator running for the refrigerator to work. It has door locks on both sets of doors. That needs a little bit of adjustment. And then we have a lock down there on the freezer door. Okay, so there we go. Inside the refrigerator is another filter. I believe the filter is in the sink. This blue plug, do not lose. That is to winterize. You remove the filter and you put that plug in order to winterize it. Icemaker, all your drawers, except freezers on the bottom. You have a little pantry here. Pull out. These drawers require that you push in to release them. If you give them a yank, they will break. So push the drawer in, it'll pop out. Push the drawer back to close it. Bedroom TV swings out. You have a Blu-ray player in here. Wall switch for your satellite stuff. You have a safe. There's a key laying right there for the safe. You have another wall switch here. Well, again, front and rear light masters, day masters, bedrooms, light switches. Any light switch that has an up-down arrow is dimmable. In this drawer, we have all of the remotes for your bed remote, your TV remote, your sound bar, and your Blu-ray. Cabinets all through here. Nice quality woodwork. Now, if you're in the bedroom or the bathrooms, you have to be in that room to put these shades up. You can put the shades down from anywhere in the coach. The only way to put the shade up in the bathroom is to be in the bathroom. That is so nobody can open the shades while you're in the shower or you're in the bedroom getting dressed. You can put the shades down from anywhere, but you have to be in the room to put them up. So that's all right there. Just like here, you can see from the bathroom, you can put the bedroom shades down if you're in the bathroom, but you can't put the bedroom shades up if you're in the bathroom. All of this bedding, I tell everybody, store it and save it for when you trade it in or sell it, because it adds to the value of your coach if you can return it back to new appearance. You have a really nice tile shower. Tecma toilet. The Tecma toilet has the instructions on the lid until you peel the sticker off. It has two